Hey everybody, got another one here. Kind of a basic one. It's a Craftsman 6.75 Briggs & Stratton powered lawnmower. And this belongs to a friend of mine. It's a well-used mower. And the issue is, you'll prime it, it'll fire up for a second and die. Also, she sits outside a lot. Already replaced the rear wheels. He did that before I got it. It says the self-propel doesn't work, and right now the cable is seized, so we'll see if it's stuck down here or not. Oh boy. So without further ado, let's get started. First things we're going to do, pop off the cover, pop off the air cleaner cover, and start spraying everything down. There's a lot of screws. If somebody had been smart and charged up their drill, they wouldn't have to do it by hand. But battery's sitting on the charger. Yep. And that's why I can't have nice things. There we go. All right. Well, she definitely got some cobwebs. Carburetor's free. Let's pop open that side cover, see what we got. Battery's charged. Yeah. Look at that. Oh boy. They say if you can't see light through it, it's no good. Well, I reckon that thing is no good. Holy cow. Alright, next part. Pop the old sparkulator out of here. I don't like that screwdriver anyways. She ain't dirty. Well, it's not cracking myself. She's not clean. She's a little dirty. How's it smell? It smells like gas. Yeah. Alright. Guys, the next thing is going to be to clean all this crap off of here. Alright, well I took the liberty to kind of spray everything down with WD-40. As we showed, the cable here was stuck. And there's a little trick I like to show, besides the fact I always pull it off and you just spray right down in the hole. And you kind of hold it up. I actually kind of fed it into the hole up here. Just let it slowly gravity feed on down the line. And the other trick is, if it's stuck up top, pulling it that way is not going to really do much good. Go the opposite direction, go to the other end of the cable, grab onto her and give her a good pull. And I've got stuff falling everywhere. I got a dirty shop here, folks. And then you just give her a little pull, she breaks free. Sometimes it's just kind of bottles not going one way, so you got to fight it from both sides. And she'll loosen up. And then once it's loose, you really don't have to worry too much about it getting stuck again. Unless the guy lets the lawnmower sit outside, which, well, then that's his problem and he can pay you again. But you can kind of see a little bit of rust down there, nothing too crazy. So, one more problem solved. Next, I'm also going to be popping off this little cover here, because he said the self-propel wasn't working. I have a sneaking suspicion it's either the belt or the gears and the wheels are worn off. Alright. Well, that's interesting. A whole bunch of garbage in there. Belt doesn't seem too terrible. It's actually still engaged. Let's see here. Well, that cable does absolutely nothing. Alright, well that's one more thing to take a look at. It feels like she's engaged. The cable's not letting me pull it all the way through, so it still has an end. Something came apart up inside there. Let's blow that out quick. Alrighty. Always good to have a nice clean shop. Not that I would ever know. Alright. Spring is still in good shape. Give her a little bit more of a spritz. Alright. Up here, it looks like a 7/16. Forgot where I got these. I think it was at a car show. Someplace had them. I think it was World of Wheels. I was set up there this year with Mini Bike Maniac, a couple other of us small bike goofballs. Sometimes it gets out of there without having 2 wrenches. Alright, let's see what we got inside here. Well, I didn't care about you anyways. So, that's popped out of the end there. Put the screw down. Alright, I was having trouble getting it apart. A lot of dead bugs in there. That really seems out of place. Pull that apart in a little bit and clean it out. The cable's moving. Strange. Get all that kind of cleaned up, put it back together here quick. Alright, I couldn't quite do this on camera because it took both hands, but this had all come apart inside. And this is the locking mechanism. When you pull this all the way forward, this part here hooks on there, but it's spring loaded so you can pop it and it would go back out. But the spring was not on. It had these 2 pieces that actually kind of come apart on the one side, and that came out. So that was all combobulated. So the cable was not in its proper seat to begin with. That was one of the problems. And then also too, the locking mechanism had come apart. I'm guessing because the cable had kind of gotten stiff, instead of lubricating it and all that, people just jam the thing and everything falls apart. But the cable's loosened up, so I got to get that back inside there, get this assembly back together, and get it mounted back on the mower. And there you can see it's back up on the handlebar. It doesn't do anything while it's actually just free moving. You can see that it is engaging. So the cable's moving, everything's working fine. But this is a self-propelled mower, so you gotta pull the handle back, and then she'll lock in place, and you're like, oh, she returns. I'll be damned if I didn't get the damn thing back together proper. So what's the next problem? Oh yeah, the other cable. Then I still gotta figure out why it isn't running. Always something. Alright, right now I'm working on getting this cable freed up. This is actually the pull cable for the handle. And slowly getting there. Just slowly working it back and forth. And once in a while it gets a little bit stiff. Drop a couple drips of motor oil down in there. It was completely freed up for a little bit. That's set. And it started sticking again. I did a fantastic job too because I cut my finger open. And now I just pulled the cable right into the cut. One of those days. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to let that dangle down. And some of that oil and other goodness can work on in there. The cable itself is still in pretty good shape, but there's definitely some corrosion going on. If it lasts another 2 seasons, it's good enough. Alright, had to take a short break there. I got all the wires back in place, all the cables. I ended up pulling this one off entirely, sticking both ends in the vise, and adding a little bit of lubrication, just pulling it back and forth. Almost like you're milking the cow there. So, or other things, depending on what kind of mindset you have. So, either way, I got all the cables back in place, got the pull cord back where it needed to be. So you can actually see that works as it should. You pull that back, the brake opens up. So, what I can tell is he's been trying to start this thing with that brake engaged. So, one good pull. Sounds like it spins over at least 10-15 times. About twice. So, free spinning after the cord is pulled. But also, pull that down. Lock your self-propel. She works. Let go. Disengages. Everybody's happy. So, now the next thing I'm going to be checking, you're dropping the carburetor, dropping the bowl off, make sure she's clean. Put some fresh gas in it. We'll also check the oil real quick, since I haven't done that yet. And it's good enough. Not my problem. Well, it is my problem. We'll change her. Let's throw in a spark plug and check that carburetor real quick. Alright. So I dropped the bowl. Everything looked pretty good inside. But on the outside here, this jet orifice, whatever, on this side, completely clogged. So I worked at it with the pick, hit it with compressed air, until finally, whatever it was that was in there broke free. And because that goes down into the bowl, it pressurized and it started shooting gas out everywhere. So that way you know it's clean. I reckon I'll get all this garbage put back together. Alright, kind of skipped ahead. Everything else was looking pretty good. Put the spark plug in, put the air filter back in, blasted it through with 120 psi. It cleaned right up, a little staining, whatever, it's a push more, it'll be fine. Topped off the oil, added in some gas. Like I say, we get it off the work stand here and see how she fires. Alright. I figured the least I could do for a feller is tip her over and drain the old oil out. Now that would explain why she's cutting so low. Okie doke. Guess I gotta go over to the hardware store and get a new blade for this old girl. Could be worse. I ended up making a quick run to Ace Hardware here. Blade was too far gone. Bam! Brand new blade. What do you say we go install it real quick? There we go. I want to make sure you give her just the right amount of ugga-duggas. Look at that. Ready to rock and roll. Fresh oil, clean the carburetor. Carburetor was pretty bad. This cable was completely seized. I got that freed up. I was waiting for a part inside of here So now your self-propel actually works. You push it up, it locks in place, it goes. You let go, it disengages. That cable was a little stiff, but I was able to free that up. Everything's lubricated. Cleaned the underside. Like I said, I had to put a new blade on. The other one was bent. So she's A1, ready to go. Fresh oil, clean plug, ready to go. I hate doing this one-handed. Makes me look like such a buffoon.